Welcome to the Penny Bloom Podcast. Ain't another place that has got more bombast. Romp past your mom, dad's listening to Tomcats, talking everything that make you sad. We don't want that. We're here to make you smile. Put your mind at ease. Peace, love, and bloom, and always praise Keanu Reeves. This what we about. This some weeding now. We'll talk until we can't no more, and then we peacing out. Alright, let's go. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome in to another episode of the Penny Bloom Podcast. It is I, Colton Robertson, and today it's the Bat. We're talking the Batman. I am joined by Tavares Pennington. What's up, homie?
Hey, how's it going? Good to be here. Good to have a working mic.
Hey, guess what? The Batman binge continues, buddy. It continues today.
It continues.
Fifth installment. We've covered Batman and Robin. We've covered the Dark Knight trilogy, and today we continue with the Batman. We are also joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
What up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here. And, I've been itching to talk about this movie at length and nerding out about it, so
yes,
I'm ready
I've now
for this
seen
one.
it twice, 3 times.
Lucky. I'm only two in so far.
I saw it twice yesterday.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that twice yesterday. Walk me through that decision.
So I was like, we had some contemplation about doing the pod yesterday, right? And I was originally going to go to a 1:00 showing once plans fell through. I was like, unless we can get a podcast going. And then we planned for 2. And I was like, all right, I can do that. 1:00 passes. I'm like, that's cool. Then the podcast, we were like, we can't do it. Like 30 minutes later. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'll catch the 1:40 showing. So I went ahead and went and saw it at 1:40 just by myself. Went. And then later in the evening, Emily was doing something during the day. I can't remember what she was doing. But then she got back and she was like, do you want to see the Batman?
She's already seen it though, right?
Yeah, she's been itching to see it a second time, and
so
I was
you've gotten her on. Well,
and there was also the fact that this is just a little real moment here. I don't know if you remember, but I did text that I was going to see it a second time Saturday night. I had a panic attack right before the movie, and I had to leave. Couldn't get a refund on that, and I felt so bad because Emily really wanted to see it. So I was like, you know what? Yes, I saw it earlier today, but I do want to see the Batman. I will take you to see the Batman again. So that's ultimately why. Should be like 4 or 5 times by now, frankly. But yeah, that's that. I had to get her second showing, so I was like, I'll see it twice in a day for you. That's an easy bet because I can't think of a better way to spend 5 hours of my time.
I mean, yeah.
I can't.
Is it 2.5? Is that what it's about? What it rounds out to?
2:45 with 11 minutes of credits.
Ooh.
Yeah,
man.
I'm going for my second showing in about 2 hours here.
8 o'clock or 9?
8:30. I knew I was gonna have. As soon as I finished it, I was like, but I don't. Can I turn around? Are y'all doing that one again?
I actually almost did that too. And when I first threw it, I was like, I could just buy another ticket like right now and just watch it again, stay here.
So here's the thing, in terms of a first viewing in a movie theater, purely from just how good the movie was, not Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are showing up. Obviously, this is hype. Far and away the best first viewing of a movie I've ever had. Like, I watched it and went, oh my fucking God.
You knew immediately. You knew in the midst of it. You were like, what is going on?
Homie said, Thursday, October 31st. And I went, I'm in. This is the greatest movie of all time.
Oh my God. The opening of this movie. This is honestly, I think, the best depiction of like the fear aspect of Batman, and they focused on it. Like, the Christian Bale, you don't really get that. Like, people are afraid of him, obviously, and they're like, it's the Bat, all the whatever. But like, they made it a point. Like, they think I'm in the shadows. You know, like you see the spray paint
whenever they
rolling
look
down,
and like the
you know, and it's
music's
like,
playing and
and
like
then they're like, no. They look up in the sky and they're like, no, like I'm leaving. And it's like, I don't know.
he goes, fear's a tool.
Mm.
They think I'm hiding in the shadows, but I am the shadows. No, and like the fact that Matt Reeves, this is a perfect example of how goofy and inherently kind of dumb the superhero genre can be, fully embracing that and going, and we're still gonna fucking stick the realism down your throat. Because like this is goofy. A dude writing in his journal, they think I'm hiding in the shadows, but I am the shadows. Like that's a fucking dorky move, bro. That's a dorky ass move.
This was the first.
It's awesome.
This was the first time I really had to confront this interpretation of Batman, which I don't know why it landed for me now. But what separates Batman fundamentally from a fucking crazy super resource SWAT officer? Nothing. He's just a SWAT officer who fucking is a lone wolf.
This version,
it was trained by the League of Assassins and stuff. You know?
Of course.
That helps.
It seems like this version, from the context we can take, is that he was trained by Alfred, and Alfred alone is the interpretation that I get. Because more than Christian Bale Batman, which is the obvious parallel we're going to take, like Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney, all these came at a different time when this wasn't what Batman movies were. You know, it was something else. I think they nailed the anger of Batman. You know, Christian Bale's Batman, I never got that he was mad. It just seemed like he was like a man on a mission. Sure, he needed to get something done. But I never thought that what people were doing made him angry. You know, it was just a matter of principle. Robert Pattinson's Batman. Oh my fucking God. Whenever he just puts that dude down, when he walks out the first time out of the shadows in the subway, puts that dude down, takes him to the ground, and then thumps him 2 more times. Oh my, I'm vengeance.
And that was even in the trailer.
I was like,
that was even and I remember watching it in the trailer for the first time and thinking, oh shit, like, am I even gonna, because my immediate impression was like, I don't know about this, like, Batman just fucking, like, being this dark feels like they're gonna do something that I'm not actually gonna be on board with. But it was like the exact opposite when you watched it. You're like, no, that Batman he walked out like that, he had to do that.
He had to do that. No, and that's the thing, is that, like, there's nothing he does in this movie. I mean, like, obviously he's a badass, but there's not like a real thing you point to and go, that thing he did in that fight, holy shit, I can't believe a human being did that. Like, you can't do with Batman. It was all relatively feasible and just him kicking ass. The badass things are him entering camera, him walking through a building, him like
the slow, monodical, even when he's just in detective mode and you don't even know he has his contact thing in yet. And like, that's why he's just standing still, you know, and staring for a while, is because he knows he's just going to watch it later, which is just amazing.
I know.
Like that.
It feels so good as a viewer, because you're like, that's how the Batman does this type of shit. Like, he's really sees everything,
bro.
I like looking back on, I mean, obviously the biggest comparison that everyone's been making is The Dark Knight with Christian Bale, which is kind of unfair because this is the first of his trilogy, so we should really be comparing this to Batman Begins, you know? But, I mean, obviously, that it shows how good of a movie this is to automatically be comparing it to the best of the Christian Bale trilogy, or, you know, what's held
the best
as
Batman
the best
movie generally,
and one of the greatest movies to ever come out, just in general as well. So I mean, it shows how great this movie is, just that people are automatically comparing it with this.
No doubt.
The billionaire playboy side of Bruce Wayne, like, I never really realized that it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to do it how Christian Bale did it.
Like, from the get-go.
Yeah, he kind of enjoyed it too. You know, like, he kind of, we had the sense that he would rather be Batman, not as much as Robert Pattinson, but he kind of, when he was Bruce Wayne, he was enjoying it. But like Robert Pattinson, he was just Bruce Wayne when he needed to be. Like whenever he just make an appearance for who I am.
That's why I feel like too, like a deficit for Christian Bale's Batman is in the fact that we almost knew what his Batman story was going to be. Like at that point in time, it's not really. I feel like this, we're getting to this point in time where these movies are starting to have to adapt characters in different ways because they've told the core comic book story, like the original comic book story. And so we know everything that Batman's going to be. He's going to be eccentric billionaire. He's going to be Tony Stark, but for DC in summation. But this one, I felt like I did not know what the fuck was coming next. Like it was a detective film.
His eyes, like his use, like he didn't even need to say a word to act. Like he just needed to stare and use the whites of his eyes and like the angle that he looked at people and like.
Oh, dude, it was the fucking. He just like does a little side eye for like a lot of his looks at people. Like, and he just does that. There's like whenever he finds the thumb drive, right, and Gordon sits standing there, he like opens the fucking console and just like looks up at him, and he goes, "What?" And he goes, "Thumb drive." I was like,
yeah.
Dude, and a lot of people are talking about this. I've seen people say not a lot of people are talking about this, but a lot of people are talking about this. This movie is funny. There are a lot of moments that make me chuckle. Because it's in the same way that The Dark Knight was funny. Like when Christian Bale tosses the valet his car keys and goes, "You should see my other one," when he tells him "nice car." Like that's a funny line that's trying to be funny. Like that's supposed to be funny. But there's nothing here that is explicitly supposed to be funny. Oh, this guy's hilarious. Like that shit was. Oh, and Jeffrey Wright's Jim Gordon.
Oh my god.
Oh my god! Someone was like, "Oh, I didn't expect Jim Gordon to come off so well," and I'm like, well, "Why? Have you seen Jeffrey Wright act? Like,
he's fucking.
This man was born and bred for that
crazy.
role."
I was going I walked into this movie. I was like, I need to tamper my expectations, bro. I went into it thinking, I'm gonna see the best Batman movie I've ever seen. I'm going to see the best Batman I've ever seen. I'm going to see the best Jim Gordon I've ever seen. I'm going to see Zoe Kravitz's Catwoman. That's going to be better than anything I've ever seen.
Wait, so you went in like first viewing thinking that?
Yeah, like I went in. I couldn't help it. I went in
just hearing all of the critic reviews beforehand and like those show, like everyone was hyped to be up to the max.
If you go back like months ago on this podcast, you will hear me say, I think we're about to get the best Batman movie we've ever gotten. And I don't know why, but for the entire time leading up to this movie, I've just been going, that movie's going to be fucking fantastic and I'm ready for it.
And it just fucking was.
Oh, God.
One of my favorite aspects of the Arkham games is the relationship between Gordon and Batman. And like this movie, I mean, they were partners. They were partners. And in The Dark Knight, in like his trilogy, it's kind of like, I mean, the relationship between Gordon and Batman is great in The Dark Knight. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like you don't really get the sense that they're true like partners through it.
The police aren't given. I don't know what it is, but they treat it. It's kind of interesting to look at how they treat the police in Christopher Nolan's trilogy as opposed to Matt Reeves' trilogy, because the police they take on much more of a character. Like there's an identity associated with the police force and their relationship with Batman and how he's sort of this accepted, unaccepted figure. And I don't know. It was just really interesting to me.
Oh, really, Jim? You're defending this guy?
What
are you?
Ooh,
because
the
it makes
unsung
sense, right?
hero, Officer Martinez, the one who knew that it's a carpet, or whatever the tool is called.
Yeah.
But like
it's fucking,
the unsung hero, like we hated him at first because he called him a freak, but then he grew, he's like, you're not supposed to be here.
I was watching that movie going, there's going to be something with Officer Martinez, because like the whole movie I'm going with like a distrust of Martinez. I'm like, maybe he's one of the dirty cops, and then it got to a point where I was like, wait a second, maybe he's one of the only good cops. Like, like maybe him and Jim are like it. I will say I am. There were like a couple things about this movie that, like, it's not that I didn't like them, and one of them is definitely not that I didn't like it. It's just really hard to watch in a real life context. Is whenever like Riddler's plan doesn't just culminate in flooding the city, it also culminates in sending a bunch of people to a crowded building with guns. Like that, I was like, oh, we're gonna go there with it, huh?
Kind of insane that they showed this in a movie.
Oh,
I'm not saying like it's gonna give anyone any ideas, but like the island of New York City is, I don't know, like just with everything happening in
talked
the
about
world.
This when we went over The Dark Knight Rises. We were like, hey, I don't think it's possible to take over Manhattan, but if it is, the blueprint is here in The Dark Knight Rises with Bane.
I don't know. Bane took over like Wayne Industries and got all that tech and stuff, and like had a like Bane. He had a much bigger start and had a crazy beginning, but the Riddler is like way more obtainable for one person to do. One person.
And I think they were pretty on the nose with what they were going for there.
With the followers and everything, like it would like real. Remember, I think I told you before I saw the movie, if I could pick one word to describe the movie, I think it would be real. Before I saw it, I think that was the word I chose, was real.
Yeah, it was.
And coming out of it, I don't think I could come up with a better word. Vengeance, it's too easy though. Dark, too easy. I feel like real is like what I take out of it, because that's what makes this movie like it accentuates this movie to like the max. The Riddler felt real, and that could actually happen. Batman, all this fighting was real. The suit felt real. The Batmobile, like,
in a certain way, they kind of correct on maybe one of the reasons that most people just like don't remember The Dark Knight Rises super well, is because it sort of resolves with this idea of Batman is now a myth. Batman was always a myth. He is once again a myth. Batman is sort of this specter of vengeance over the city that keeps them on track. Yada yada yada. You feel that in this movie. It is a actual thing from the very get go with Matt Reeves, that Batman is this like larger than life figure in a certain, like, I saw a tweet that said they only actually call him by the Batman once in the movie, and it was when they referred to the Batman project between him and Gordon. Is that true?
I noticed on the second watch, I really picked up like every time like Batman and Catwoman were talking to each other, vengeance. Like she called him vengeance like 99% of the time. Gordon rarely ever said Batman. Like he ever referred to him as like by anything. It was just man. Like it was just like a casual like talking and conversation.
Ozzy love this interpretation of Penguin, bro.
Holy Colin Farrell,
like he's like, "Hey, I'm Ozzy." I was like, "Oh shit!"
Tony Soprano. He just screams. He is Tony Soprano.
I got
and that's
you.
The best interpretation.
I got you.
You a big man though, Oz, huh? You a big man though, huh?
Oh, well, maybe, dude, don't get me started on Carmine Falcone.
I had to look him up in the movie to see if it was the same guy from Transformers.
It was.
Yeah,
I know. I was like, I couldn't believe it.
Oh, thank you so much. I have been dying at where I've seen that man before.
I know.
That's my neighbor John Turturro.
Oh my god. Wow.
He is an absolutely phenomenal cast for villains. Like,
this cast is insane. Like it's nuts. Whenever you roll down and you're like, I was trying to pick out like the performances I liked the best. I mean, obviously Robert Pattinson. he's my favorite Batman now. I think he portrayed him the best. I think my
too.
second
So,
favorite's
I
the
mean-
Arkham games, and then like it goes.
While,
I don't
while
know, but sorry, go
wait,
ahead.
finish your list first.
Well, I was gonna say like I don't really know where Christian Bale lies on my list because I really think of his trilogy, what I like more in those movies is the villain sides and the other characters that I think are like the better aspects of the movie. Heath Ledger's
Mhm.
Joker, Harvey Dent, Gordon. Like I feel like all these characters are
Jonathan
better
Crane.
than like Christian Bale. I think Christian Bale becomes like more of a side character in his own movie, and I never got that with Robert Pattinson. He's the main character. Like it is on him, and it's about Batman. Like,
Yeah.
and that's who he truly is. You know, like I feel like this is just the strongest depiction. And I don't know where Christian Bale lies. I have no idea. So
So my thinking throughout the movie was that Robert Pattinson is Batman. Like in this, put that man in the suit, he's Batman. Like no questions about it.
He looks and oh my god!
Oh my,
and
he
that
looks,
suit,
sounds, his voice isn't
the
like
fucking the collar around his neck leading into the fucking leather ass looking cape that we like. Oh my god!
Oh yeah.
and then the things that were on his forearm that were all wrapped up, and you're like, what are those?
Those
And then
were
you
so
realize that it's just the flight suit all wrapped up, and like, you know, like that's what it was the whole time, is that it's just like the flight suit like wrapped up and folded. So like, but it also like works out his armor too, and it's like bulletproof. Like super cool. Like I don't know, this was just sick, just seeing him like tank bullets, but then like the double barrel, you know, like
that
kablamo. That's gonna take a oh my god,
Yo, and then he hit himself with the fucking adrenaline and I love that. That's what that scene was like from the trailer.
I saw a theory that wasn't even adrenaline. Someone said that it was a greenish liquid.
Yeah, but no,
Joker toxin
or Bane, like Bane's
Venom.
It's not though. There's no way.
I didn't think that, but that because that would mean that he's already in this universe dealt with Bane.
And like every time that Batman has taken,
he developed this, and Bane takes it from him.
That's I was thinking that, but like whenever you're on this stuff, you get like extremely addicted to it immediately from the first time that you take it, because like I don't know, like maybe Batman has the mental fortitude to be like, that power is only when I need it, you know, in only dire situations, so I'm not going to get addicted to it. Maybe he is that strong, but like anytime in the comics, whenever he's taken it, like immediately he cannot stand it. Like it becomes just immediately addicted to it, and he goes like in this crazy path. And like,
okay,
I don't know.
So this
cool,
kind of,
and I think they do it the right way, but it'd be interesting to see how they would work around it.
This kind of bleeds into the ultimate comment I wanted to make originally, which is that I 100%, 1000% believe Robert Pattinson is Batman. I am less sure that Robert Pattinson is Bruce Wayne, but I think that is just because this interpretation of Bruce Wayne is so foreign.
Bruce Wayne doesn't exist.
He doesn't exist yet, really, right? Like
that's the whole point of the Riddler.
Feels like a disturbed teen in an overgrown body, honestly. That's what Bruce Wayne feels
well,
like.
I mean, his parents died. He
got
stayed in his
and
mansion and learned how to fight from Alfred. That's all he knows, is just sadness, and Gotham sucks. And yeah, like I don't like.
And I mean, now he knows more about why Gotham sucks.
Oh my god! And like the Council of Owls, or is that what the council?
The Court of Owls.
Court of Owls. Yeah, that council didn't sound right, but like it seems that they're going kind of that route. That there's
as soon as I saw the card with the owl on it and stuff, like there's a lot of little things in this movie that kind of like nod to other stuff. It feels like, and that was definitely one of them where I was like, that's weird. The who?
A crazy thing that I can't believe I didn't pick up on first watch is the opening of the movie, seeing a little boy in all red with a sword and not immediately going, oh, that's Robin. That's a Robin costume right there. Red ninja sword. Like, and that kid I am like 99% sure that this is going to be Robin. Like perfectly
shit.
aged too, where Batman will be kind of like a father-ish figure to him. He immediately locks eyes with him and stares at him because he knows it's like the same exact thing he's going through. And like, it's Robin. But I can't believe when I was watching it for the first time, when he's staring at him with the binoculars through the window, that I didn't go Robin right away. Like, that's literally a Robin costume, like right there. And I'm like, how did I not put that together? But on the second watch, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, wow. From the very start, they were like letting us know.
See, I never got
Oh.
those vibes from him either. Even 3 watches later, the guy that I think is the kid with half his face painted,
You think that's
Yep.
going to be Robin?
who can't go through with
That was the
punching
other
an innocent
theory I
man,
saw. Funnily enough, that actor also
plays Robin in Titans.
No way.
Yeah,
Oh, damn. Well, I guess Batman has multiple. Like,
yeah, and that's the
multiple in
thing. Like,
family.
it could be Tim Drake,
Yeah.
Dick Grayson, these different things.
I
But
thought that would've
Mayor
been so
Mitchell's
cool.
son.
But the red suit though, I don't know. And like the fact that he's
the
like
swords and everything,
and
yeah,
like
that
and
feels-
right when he's staring at him the whole time, saves him, like picks him up at the very
agree.
end too. Like he's had like it has more moments with him, and if I don't know, I feel like the other guy hasn't really had a moment other than that one interaction where he.
No, yeah, and that's really interesting because I only took that. I never even took it that extra step to go Robin. I just took it as a really powerful story mechanism building to him being the first person who trusts him at the end. Because everyone's afraid to come out, and the first person to take his hand is the kid.
You make
And
it
like
think,
that,
like they make you think it's going to be like
mayor.
the mayor. Yeah, because like you don't see the kid at all, but then
And then
you see him come out, and it's just like, oh,
I got chills. I cried. I was like, oh fuck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite part of the movie too. Is that that very end scene where he leads the people out of the stadium with the fucking flare and
God.
Oh, it's some
leads them up to the
amazing
roof.
visuals there. Like Claire was noting that she was like, those are some beautifully composed scenes.
He
Oh,
is
they are.
truly not afraid to die. Like they showed that he has zero fear. Like even whenever the bat in the cage with the letter up top, his hand, like the way he just reached in, not affected by anything, grabbed it, and then in death gets shot, double barrel right to his head, and he's just like, all right, this is it, all right, all good, whatever. And then the freaking cut the electrical line too. He's like, yep, gotta do it. This could kill me, but who knows?
And
see.
that's what's awesome about him too, is that there's also this vulnerability that he does show when Alfred's laying in the hospital bed where he's like, I'm not afraid of what happens to me, but I've realized that my fear is not about me. It's about everyone I care about.
I bawled my eyes out in that scene whenever Alfred extended his hand. Like I was already tearing up a little bit before.
Oh, but that
then
was
he put
it.
his hand out,
When
and then
they held hands, bro.
I was like,
this Bruce Wayne holding his hand, bro.
Oh my God! Like,
nah, but really though, the thing for me that's fascinating is this movie's like really well segmented, and you realize it on second viewings, second and third viewings, because first time you watch it, you don't know the structure of the film. You're going place to place, following the storyline as it happens. But the second time you watch it, the first act is dealing with Riddler. The middle act is the storyline of Catwoman, Batman, and Carmine Falcone and how all that interacts. And then they finish it off with more Riddler shit. And it's like that middle is the heart of the film.
Yeah.
I think without it, you lose a lot of emotional resonance in this story. Carmine Falcone's connection to both Selena Kyle and Bruce Wayne by having had both their parents killed.
damn.
And that,
Well, we don't know for sure. It's up in the air still,
Wait,
and how about the fact that I'm fairly certain at the funeral, Bruce Wayne comes face to face with the man who actually did his parents' end. Hey, don't I know you? And Bruce Wayne can't stop looking at him like, and then he like fades back into black.
I didn't get that vibe at all. I thought it was just because he was like, these rich son of a bitches, they just deserve it. And then he's like, Bruce Wayne, obviously billionaire right next to him, hearing that these rich son of a bitches should just deserve to die. And he's like, oh, wait a minute. Do I know? You are a billion.
And
Oopsies,
you know,
like that.
initially,
It's
I
like,
think I write it off. It's the look back and then him retreating into a shadow that makes me go, "That's Joe Chill. That is the man who killed his parents."
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude.
So next time you watch it and you're at the funeral scene, I'm fairly certain that's true. I'm fairly certain it's the guy who pulled Trig.
I hardly even remember the funeral scene occurred. Like,
oh yeah, and the whole
oh yeah, and the car wrecks into it, and the
so much
bomb
shit.
explodes.
I'm just gonna call him Robin. I think like this kid is Robin. That's what I'm going with. I'm sticking with it.
Hey, I'm with that. I'm with that.
But we agree that there has to be a Robin in this trilogy.
One of the two is a Robin. Yes. I feel
like,
pretty confident.
But even just like in general, like that was the thing that like was the biggest letdown, arguably, of the Dark Knight trilogy was fucking the fact that they introduced Robin in the last 5 seconds of the fucking last movie.
And his name is just Robin. Like his actual first name is
literally.
Robin.
You're just like it's
never been his name.
You messed that up. That does not satisfy us whatsoever.
What's the point of the mask and the costume if you're just gonna go like imagine if I was a superhero and I just went by Joseph, like it well okay, like sure but yeah, I mean he saves him. Looking at him, he knows like
when he jumped, like I love whenever Batman is looks out for the kids. Like, and you know, that's the natural thing for Batman. You know, his trauma occurred when he was a small child.
Mm-hmm.
He will look out for small children. And I think I just loved seeing that. Like, as soon as he saw there was a problem, he didn't look anywhere else, looked straight to the kid, ran after him, grabbed him, and went out of the way. Like, I really love little details like that. And,
especially like, you know, orphans, obviously, but I like the distinction that the Riddler made that was like, you're not really an orphan. Like at all. Like, yes, your parents are dead and traumatizing, horrible experience, but you got to live in a mansion and everyone talked about you and all the other orphans were left behind, you know? And I never like really thought, I'm like, yeah, Batman's like this orphan the whole time, but like, yeah, he's not 30 to a room. Like they're not dying of the cold. They're not like in true orphan conditions or whatever. And it made like perfect sense to why the Riddler, like his character would spring or like his arc, you know, why his origin story basically. You know, and
it is really interesting that specifically, that part of the movie is what, besides, you know, Riddler's doing murder, so that automatically
Riddler's doing murder.
He is doing that.
So that automatically separates them, but it's that motive, the jealousy, that eventually separates them from being two characters who are acting purely through what they see as justice through violence. They're both doing that for most of the movie. And then Riddler goes, the sins of the father must be bestowed onto the son. And it's like, oh, well then that reframes all the other shit you did as an excuse to do violence. Because if you were truly just taking stuff out on the people who did wrong, you wouldn't do shit to Bruce Wayne. You're just looking for someone to hurt.
Or you wouldn't flood the city and have like many gunmen
but prior to that, you know, like that's what I mean. Like at the first time you're watching it, you're like, this is the distinct point that reframes everything, and then he's gonna destroy the city.
Can we clear that? I'm pretty sure I have this locked down, but a lot of there's a lot of discussion around this scene when he's, you know, Bruce Wayne, and he does he know that that's Bruce Wayne or not? And
I left with the same impression that he does not.
I don't think he does.
And it's purely coincidental.
I think he does. And the reason why, and the only reason why, is they show the camera and Bruce looks at it, or, you know, he looks at it, but the Riddler, he knows, but he doesn't want everyone else to know yet.
See, but
why? He likes knowing it's just them.
But after his plan fails, why wouldn't he leverage that?
Because Riddler still wants to be friends with Batman. He thinks they're the same. He thinks they're a team. He doesn't want the whole world.
This wasn't how this was supposed to go.
Exactly. Bruce, you know, Batman, he's standing in whenever they're up in his apartment and they're saying, oh, his next target's Bruce Wayne. He's thinking that he's going to unmask him and that he's like, I think this is coming to an end. The Batman's coming to an end because he thinks his identity is about to get revealed. But that's not what was happening. He just wanted to kill Bruce Wayne. He wanted just to kill Batman, like straight up. Like I don't know.
Where I think that's where they left it pretty purposefully ambiguous. Obviously, I don't think that "I know the real you" written on the wall was actually "I know the real you" is Bruce Wayne. I think it's "I know you're with me. I know you believe in this."
But the mask, you put on the mask so you can be who you really are, and the mask allowed me to be who I truly was. And
but he's talking to Batman there.
But yeah, it's saying that this is the real you. Like, mask or no mask, this is the real you right here. You are the Batman. And like him just being the Riddler, he knows everything. He's calculated. Like, who knows if him saying, no, this is not how it's supposed to go. Maybe this is all in his plan, and he knew Joker was in Arkham, and that he planned to go there, like, I'm serious. Like, it's the Riddler. It's Nigma. Like, come on. Like, this is what he does, And like, there's 2 more movies coming.
If he didn't know the Joker was in there, he was acting awful goofy when the Joker was right next to him.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know, man. I think he knows, but he didn't want the world to know.
I will say that this is probably the Riddler that, I mean, for obvious reasons, the Riddler that we all fear the most, because I can't think of a single, even including the games, a single adaptation of the Riddler that wasn't just fucking an idiot. Like, you're just like, bro,
goofy as shit. At least,
you spent all your time putting these riddles all up through the city for me to just come.
It's hilarious because the Batman's always like, justice. The answer's justice. You just asked it 5 seconds ago, but I've already got it. No, yeah, that's and it's funny for a movie that I absolutely love, and I think is potentially, I'm gonna have to remove recency bias, but amongst top 3 favorite comic book movies of all time for me, straight off rip right here. The villain is my least favorite part.
Yeah.
The Riddler is the worst part of this movie.
Okay. I think an important distinction to make here is that, like, his character, I think, is the weakest part of the movie, but the plot that he brings to the movie is super strong. So, I think it's just his character in itself. And, like, I don't think the performance of him is bad. I think, like, his performance is really good. But it's just every other character is so much stronger and means so much more to the story that the Riddler's just kind of there for the plot mainly.
Yeah,
and
like the only scenes with the Riddler I like are when he is, and they're the only 2 really important scenes with the Riddler are when he is talking to the Batman, whether it be over the phone or it's in his face. Those are the only 2 scenes where I'm like interested in what the Riddler's doing. I want to go back and know what Selina Kyle and Bruce Wayne are doing. I want to see what Carmine Falcone and Ozzy Cobblepot are up to. But every time we went back to the Riddler, I was just kind of like, all right, well, here he goes. He's going to kill another corrupt guy, and we're going to learn everything important about it here in a second.
I'm trying to think. Did you catch whenever he was in the diner and he had his 2 IDs? Did you see both of the names? I tried to catch them both times. I only got like one of the names and I forgot them already. And it's like, I've tried to, like, I was solely trying to get it, but I couldn't remember.
I'd look up the Riddler. Yeah. 2 IDs. Now I saw the one on the bottom was like, I think it was Edward, and the last name started with an N, but I don't think it was Enigma.
It wasn't Enigma in the movie. It was
Nashton, I think.
Nashton, yeah.
Edward Nashton.
Which in the comics is his last name Edward Nigma? I really I kind of hope they do the thing from the Arkham Origins storyline where because Batman at that point in time doesn't know who the Riddler is, so he goes by Enigma, which which I always thought was that's a kind of a cool way for him to think of the Riddler before he really knows who he is.
Yeah. No, I don't know. It was a really fucking good movie though, dude. And and that is the thing though, is that, you know, he does provide a really great antagonist for this Batman, you know,
Right.
like this,
Well,
this works really well here. And we talked about how it's grounded, you know, like there's a realism to this that feels just authentic. Like this could
Yeah.
happen. But the world Matt Reeves has created feels more mythical. Like I could see this Batman fighting Clayface and Poison Ivy and stuff. I could not see Christian Bale's and Christopher Nolan's Batman fighting Clayface and Poison Ivy. I can see him fighting these more out there and mystical threats. Yes, Patrick Parker. That was the other one.
Edward Nashton and Patrick Parker. Huh.
Oh, so he changed his name to Edward Nygma.
Yes, yeah. To make it Enigma.
What's the Patrick Parker? Like, what's the... Is
He was an alias.
TP.
It says Parker was one of his aliases.
Interesting. Man, but I do agree, like, with you, like, in the sense that he kind of was the weakest, like, part of the movie, which is insane because it's not bad.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that, like, I said worst part of the movie just because, like, and even though it was the worst part of the movie for me, it was it wasn't weak, you know, like, it was just that I liked the dynamics between a lot more of the characters, and I liked the stuff they were bringing to the table more. The only other, like, I will say I don't know what I wanted, but I need a little bit more of Andy Serkis Alfred, you know, like,
yeah.
I don't feel like we got enough there, and maybe it's just because Bruce Wayne's still a little bitch at this point to him. Like, he's like, "You're not my dad."
I'm really hoping this feels like the Batman Begins from Nolan's trilogy, where it's like that after that, and I mean that also the Dark Knight came after the Batman Begins, so that was just already like it just collapsed to the way that I don't even know at this point if I want to say the way that Christopher Nolan built the world of Batman. Like, what was it that made the Dark Knight trilogy? Because, like, it's so wild how you release a Batman movie and then immediately what's considered some of the best movies ever is just it's not worse, but it's just like you're like.
I think you take Heath Ledger out of the Dark Knight and it doesn't have the praise that it has. Like, I truly think it is the villains and the story that makes that movie so good and the way it's shot, and it's not the Batman part of the movie.
Like, I 100% agree with you. Here's my thing, is that this is visually the best Batman movie we've gotten. I won't necessarily say most innovative because Tim Burton did Batman, and his Gotham was fucking insane.
Yeah. Seems like Tim Burton's Gotham's kind of a bit of a foundation for this one.
Yes, I would say so. And this kind of acted on it in a way that we could bring it to life a little bit more beautifully, and a little bit more realistic. But those matte paintings and stuff, like the physical props to have on set, like it's a beautiful, it's incredibly visually innovative, you know. And I don't think Christopher Nolan's Batman.
It was Chicago.
The thing that those movies excel at is being well written, and specifically Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight Rises is kind of a fucking mess, but
I'm glad we can agree now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But the Dark Knight, I've had that question too. You know, is it just because of Heath Ledger's Joker that I'm feeling some type of way about this movie?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, if you do take him out of this movie, it is a critical blow because it is tied. His story is directly tied and parallels Gordon, Harvey Dent, and Batman's in that movie. Like, all of their storylines revolve around how they respond to the Joker.
Joker's the main character. Like,
yeah,
of the movie. I don't know. Like,
undoubtedly.
And if not the Joker, Harvey Dent. Like, that's the thing, is that those two are the main characters of The Dark Knight, which is really fucking interesting.
And I can't believe,
I really do appreciate it.
So many people are calling Christian Bale the GOAT, like, as the Batman. And I'm just like, yes, his movie is good and could be the GOAT of the movie, like, all overall. But, like, if you're calling him the best Batman, like, no. Like, I can't get behind that. Like, I don't know. He just,
I could see an argument for him maybe being
He's
like
definitely
a
the best
very
Bruce Wayne for more
likable.
money.
He's
Yeah,
just the
right.
one you
That's what
grew
I'm
up
saying. He's
with.
a very likable interpretation of Bruce Wayne.
Like,
But
whenever we heard the word Batman, we thought of Christian Bale. At least, like, that's who I thought of my whole life, pretty much.
I went to George Clooney's nipples.
well, and the thing about the Batman I think of now is it's not Robert Pattinson necessarily. It is Robert Pattinson's body in the Batman suit. That's what I think of when I think of Batman.
Yeah, you know, I'm not picturing Robert Pattinson.
Which is
That's
and
the thing
credit to
too,
his
is that
acting.
it's this is what Heath Ledger was to the Joker in terms of an all immersive, like, I'm looking at the Joker and I'm not thinking of Heath Ledger. I'm thinking of the Joker. That's how I feel about this Batman. You know, I look at Michael Keaton's Batman, that's Michael Keaton in a batsuit. I look at Val Kilmer, that's Val Kilmer in a batsuit. I look at George Clooney, that's George Clooney in a batsuit with nipples. I look at Christian Bale, that's Christian Bale in a batsuit. But I look at Robert Pattinson, and that is fucking Batman.
The promotional of the black and red batsuit where it's only the red, like, and this is kind of like the what was that called? Like the animated version of his suit that he had. Oh my god, what is that one called? The movie where he has the Batman Beyond, maybe, where he has like kind of this suit. It reminds me of it a little bit. Like, I love the use of red and orange in this movie. Orange is critically underrated, in my opinion, and they used it a lot in this movie.
Sunsets and the silhouette shots of Batman.
Oh god,
that
right there, that scene right there.
We haven't even talked about the fucking car chase yet.
Yeah.
There's even a part where they get out of the elevator to get into the garage where they find the thumb drive, and the light from the elevator behind them, the shot they show, is a silhouette of Batman and Jim Gordon walking next to each other. And if you watch it again, you're going to go, holy shit, that's fucking beautiful. And it's it's a very simple shot that is on screen for like 2 seconds.
Which scene is this?
It's when they get to they go down the elevator to the garage where they find the thumb drive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's after they find the drive clue.
Mm-hmm.
They cut to them doing that. But yeah, this movie was fucking amazing.
Yeah, but
and,
the car stunt through the of the Batmobile, whenever we're first seeing it and it's charging up and he's just letting the fear rise, you know, did it stall or was that on purpose that he stopped?
On purpose. He was trying to separate Ozzy from his crew.
Okay, thank you. That's what I thought. Like, everyone's like, he doesn't know how to drive. Dude doesn't even know how to whatever. But then you see him absolutely crush on the road. Like, you see him be like, are you?
He's
like,
fine.
Yeah.
He's trying to go like, this doesn't look like the technological marvel that the Dark Knight's Batmobile is. It is a fucking street Hellcat that is here to kill you.
Yeah.
And
you
should be scared and run the other way.
This is just the first movie. Batman doesn't get his teched up Batmobile until the Dark Knight. Where it gets, or does he maybe have one, but it's not like,
he hasn't. Like, the thing about Christian Bale's Batman that's interesting is the conclusion that this Batman comes to in this movie is where Christian Bale's Batman starts. He's flying back to the United States going, I need to give Gotham hope. He never has the anger. He never has the vengeance thing to him. He is straight off rip. I need to inspire hope in this city, like, immediately.
Yeah.
They didn't give him any time to develop as a Batman. He just was the Batman we know. And that's what I like about this, is that they gave us an anti-origin, you know, like the way they did with the Spider-Man trilogy, where it's like, oh, he's about to become the Spider-Man we know and love. This Batman is about to become the Batman we know and love at the end of this movie.
The smallest person on this trailer is Bruce Wayne. Like, it just doesn't even matter. You know, like, you know, your eyes aren't even drawn, like, to know there's a character down there almost. Like, it's just, I don't know. I love how they, like, really focused on that. Like, he's just truly the Batman, and Bruce Wayne is just, like, that's his alter ego.
Did y'all get the free poster?
Dude, I was wondering about that. Yeah,
I got a free poster when I went.
Lucky.
I did not get a free
one.
poster.
No.
I got a promotional cup.
Damn.
And
I got
cool.
and I got a Batman popcorn.
Dang.
Hell yeah.
Shit's
Hell yeah. No, yeah, but I will say, another really cool thing that I didn't really think about until I was like going to the movies was that this was the first Batman movie I got to watch on the big screen.
Mm.
And for a character that I've loved all my life, you know, like when I realized that, I was like, oh my God, I'm going into maybe my favorite comic book characters ever. First movie I've ever watched in theaters. That's really fucking awesome.
I wish that it was mine because I fell asleep during The Dark Knight in 2008.
You were like 7.
Now,
exactly, which is why I fell asleep.
is this Wayne Manor? Like, is it at top of
Wayne Tower?
Okay, so this is separate. So he still has the
Oh.
manor, right? Like, still has the mansion, or he just doesn't?
I was confused about that.
or-
Where does Batman
that-
live?
yeah.
Well, when he's driving back, when we get the reveal that Alfred was pipe bombed an hour ago on his way, when Bruce is trying to call and stuff, and you see the tower smoking.
Yeah.
That was, I think, they just happened
The-
to have a part of the
yeah, like a penthouse. Like the very top is just
the
living.
very top of the tower is just where he lived.
And that this is also like the Wayne Tower, like that one that's downtown, right? Like place of business.
Yeah, and his
Yeah.
Batcave is underneath Wayne Tower, which is like that's kind of, or maybe this isn't his Batcave. Maybe this is just his like garage.
Oh no, his
under
Batcave
Wayne
was
Tower,
in a,
like
it was in a Wayne subway station.
Yeah, Wayne
Well, I
Terminal.
thought he went
Wayne
like
Terminal.
underneath, like
is Wayne Terminal under Wayne Tower?
it looked like he was driving towards Wayne Tower. At
Oh.
least they gave you that idea, and then he went underground. So I guess it's
Underground.
somewhere underneath the city, basically. But I'm curious if he does still have the mansion and like a Bat Cave back there, like an actual cave, you know, instead of just like a abandoned subway station.
I really liked this though.
this
I
was
really
sick,
liked
yeah.
his take on the Batcave. Just because, like, I like a reinterpretation of things I've already seen in a new and fascinating way. This bat suit, straight off rip, very fascinating.
God.
Something we've never seen before. The Batcave being a hollowed out subway terminal, loved that. Like, that was just fucking beautiful. The Batmobile, not the same kind of Batmobile you're used to. You know, like it's just a car with some modifications. With some upgrades. That look right there, if you go back a couple.
That was the only.
That's what I was talking about.
He used the whites of his eyes
He
very,
does use the
like,
white of his eyes.
oh my God.
I will say the one scene where I thought Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne really shined was when that scene. Go back one when he was confronting Falcone.
Yes.
That was, I was like, this is what I want at Robert Pattinson to look like when he's Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, no, because that's the thing too. Is like when I was thinking about what I think is the emotional heart of the film, it is the series of scenes where he is Bruce Wayne.
Really?
It's the series of scenes where he goes and visits Alfred in the hospital after visiting Carmine
That doesn't
Falcone.
even look real. Go back one. Look at the way they stand in the city. Like it looks like hyper reality almost.
That's the thing, is that like there's something mystical about the Gotham they've built here, and it's not like I cannot see Christian Bale Batman fighting Clayface. Clayface could exist in this Gotham. You know what
Christian
I'm saying?
Bale's
Like,
voice is almost too theatrical for this. Like that was something I really noticed from
where
Robert Pattinson.
Yes,
voice,
the
like,
voice. Oh my
it
gosh.
was
He
not
just
too much,
uses
not
a
too little. It was perfect.
normal-ish voice. Obviously when he's
Yeah.
like, I'm vengeance, and in fighting, he's like angry. So like, you know, obviously it's more, but like whenever he's just talking to Gordon or whatever, you know, it's just kind of like not super casual voice, but
it's kind of soft.
Yeah.
Like he kind of goes with like a more whispery tone. Just kind of,
like,
yeah, but what does it mean?
was cut off when he was alive. Incarcerations
Yeah.
around the wound. Or like whatever, you know, like it was more mellow. But man.
That's
I
just
love,
so
and
sick.
you know, something we have not talked about that I really want to talk about here an hour in is Batman and Catwoman together on screen.
Okay.
Straight off rip, there's a scene in this where I'm like, interesting. That's gonna get hit. That's gonna get shit. When you know Bruce is out there peeping with his goggles, then follows Zoe Kravitz into her bedroom, and I was like, oh, And now he's just watching her get undressed, huh? All right.
Well, he lowered him a little bit, and I'm like, okay, good guy, not going to watch her change.
Puts
But then
him
he's
right
like,
back up, though.
yeah, he's like,
And that's the thing, he's Batman. He's trying to get the information. He's got to keep his eyes on. I generally get it, but like,
that's probably exactly what they expect us to think his reasoning was.
No, it is, and well, that's the thing. This Bruce gets no bitches. There is not a bone in his body that's horny. You know what I'm saying? Like he is about his business. Fuck everything else. There was not a sexually motivated thing behind his watching Catwoman at the beginning. There's something that develops, but like it couldn't be more clear that this Bruce Wayne has no bitches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, and I really like that they play it as a sort of, it's not a traditional romance in any sort of way. It's a very complex relationship that they have that somehow ends up in romance, because that's the vibe I get from, particularly I'm thinking of Batman and Catwoman and the Batman the Animated Series, like, which is another just, this is on par with that. Like,
yeah, like Batman the Animated Series until this is my favorite Batman content. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like that's the best Batman content there is for me. And Batman Mask of the Phantasm and the animated series going along with it and stuff like that's strong. This builds on that. Like this has more inspiration derived from like the animated series, and like this looks like, if you look up the Long Halloween comic run and like look at the art,
it's partly based off of the Long Halloween, right?
Yes, it is. It is definitely hardcore inspired by it. But like the way that some stuff is lit in this movie, I was watching straight from that shit pages out of the Long Halloween,
Mm-hmm.
like some of the shit was just brilliant. But yeah, there's like silhouette shots in that where they utilize orange really, really effectively.
I really want to watch there's a Long Halloween movie on HBO.
Yeah, part 1 and 2.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go probably check that out.
You definitely should, because it's just an adaptation of it, And then if you're looking for more stuff that influenced this, Year One, Batman, that's another one that's been adapted into an animated thing. Batman Year One.
Oh shit, that's all on HBO.
HBO has a lot of Batman
Spring
stuff.
Break is next week too.
Yeah. But the scene where Catwoman was asking him for help, she was like, "You got to help me, Vengeance. Are you gonna do it? Whatever." And then he's like, "I don't know," like kind of hesitant.
Or be scarred under there.
Yeah. But then she doesn't kiss him, until he's like, "Don't make a move without me." He was agreeing, and she was like, "Oh my God, you're gonna help me." And it was like, then like they kissed.
Yeah,
and it was
I loved it.
It just made it didn't feel forced, It felt right, and it felt like it made sense with this like even just super reclusive Batman. Like I don't know, it was so beautiful. Like.
No, yeah, it was really interesting. Emily had some thoughts on it as we were leaving. She was like, it felt forced.
Really?
And I could understand that to a degree. I could get that. It's Batman and Catwoman. They're going to have a romantic relationship, and it's kind of unclear what leads them there. But I think it's just kind of obviously a mutual attraction. That's kind of what Batman and Catwoman are kind of base level always built on, is that they're both like, wow, this person is very physically attractive. Let's see where this goes.
They're the only, like she had, her partner, or at least good friend, Anika. I don't know, like
Monica,
seemed romantic, at least. Called her baby, and like was holding her, I don't know. I guess maybe just a really good friend. But like,
yeah, that's the thing too. It's like I definitely didn't get romantic vibes, but I guess I wasn't looking for it.
Yeah.
So like maybe if I see it again, I'll be like, oh yeah, there's definitely something there.
The point of me bringing that up though was that like she lost, her, and like Batman is helping her kind of through the situation, protect or wanting to protect her, even though she's like, I can take care of myself. Like they have this cute back and forth. And like whenever he puts the contact in, for the first time, he's like, look at me. And then it's just just making sure it's an
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
We're not actually
Yeah.
whatever. Like all these, I don't know, like there were cute moments, and that's why I wouldn't say it was like completely forced. I don't know, like obviously Catwoman and Batman are gonna have something. Like it's just going to happen.
Oh,
Like I feel like
off
the way they did.
rip, bro. They built sexual tension immediately. Whenever she was breaking into the safe, and he goes, "You're pretty good at that." And then they fight, and then he like slams her on the table, like holding one of her legs up, and it's like, oh, and then he holds her against the wall, covering her mouth and stuff. I was like, I'm like, I want to read like a novelization where like they like go over like the things that are going through their head, because I was like, you know what's coming through in this scene for me with Catwoman is like she is supposed to feel angry. She is supposed to be like, I need to fight this guy. I need to get away. But she can't help but feel safe.
Yeah, God damn it.
In this moment. You know what I'm saying? Like she can't help but be like, oh, this kind of dope. You know? Like,
yeah.
When like specifically when he's holding his hand over her mouth, like you can tell she like kind of like protests for a second, and then she just kind of like exhales, and it's like she's just kind of cool, and I'm like, oh, that was just
they were really nailing just that dynamic of silent communication between them too. Like they wanted the viewer to really know like they are on the same page even when they are fighting.
Yeah. But my favorite moment is the moment of resolution between them two. Whenever she's got Carmine Falcone dead to rights, and he takes the gun from her and is like, "You don't need to pay with him. You've paid enough."
Oh,
I was like,
yeah,
yes, she has paid enough.
She has paid enough.
Oh my God. Every culmination of this movie was just like the Riddler's culmination, their culmination.
It felt like a real mystery. Like the whole way.
Hey, here's my thing. I think back to some other movie theater experiences I've had with comic book movies recently. You know, I think to Eternals specifically. We get to that last act, right? And it's like that's a comic book movie ass last act, you know, like it's like villain forces are gonna come and we're gonna have to fight with the heroic forces.
A mega mind, a whole celestial whole.
Yeah, like it's gonna come together in a real way. We're gonna fight, and you know, she's gonna make this man stone in the ground. I watched this. I'm watching Eternals going, well, the Eternals are gonna be fine.
Yeah.
I'm watching this and I'm like, I don't know if Batman makes it out of this movie.
Right.
Like does he die?
The stakes, the way they were like, now it's flooding. I'm like, how far are we going to take this? Is everyone just going to fucking die?
And they have such
now there are gunners up in this bitch. What's going to like? I'm on the edge of my seat the whole time.
They have such a unique opportunity with this first movie too, because you don't know if there are more. We still don't know if there are more. There's obviously going to be another one, but like watching it the whole time, that was a major thought for me. I'm like, if this is a one-off Batman, man, they really raised the fucking stakes on us. Like,
I mean, the double barrel shotgun. I was like, okay, he didn't kill him now, but like he could die here, and I'm like, this is holy shit. You know, whenever he got shot, that was like theater silent. You know, everyone was like, what the fuck? Like, really? Oh,
I love a theater reacting in a loud way, like when Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire pop up in No Way Home. But when he cut the wire and fell into the water, I didn't hear a fucking thing. And that is so much better.
Oh,
that is so much better. Whenever I can feel the tension in the room, everyone being like...
Because we were like, the shotgun, we're like, okay, he's not fully dead. He can maybe come back from this. But then we were like, he's already so weak right now. And like, he's dead. Like, I'm like, holy fuck, he's dead. Like, they really just did that. Like, oh my, and then like he comes out of the water and I was oh, like literally like I think that's the next noise you heard was people like for the breath that they finally took whenever he took his like first breath out of the water. Like it was like we're all oh my God, that moment was insane.
No, I just absolutely loved that, dude. And I mean, Batman and Catwoman riding their bikes next to each other. That's
oh my God,
awesome
the bikes were fucking awesome.
I loved watching them. Like
And
they take full
sound-
advantage of the fact that there's really nothing cooler than a sexy man and a sexy woman riding motorcycles together.
to some
you know.
good music.
Just some good music.
The
Just some
soundtrack.
and every time they turned on the fucking Nirvana.
Something in the way.
Nirvana just saw a massive uptick in streams.
I've been listening to the
Oh, yes,
soundtrack the whole
absolutely.
time in the background, like as we've been
Have
recording.
they released the Batman soundtrack?
Oh, yeah.
already?
Oh yeah, Michael Giacchino
There's,
also did No Way
29
Home,
tracks
also
on
did
the
Rogue
soundtrack.
One, also did Doctor Strange. This man's got the fucking bag on him.
Mm.
And let me tell you, this was better than any soundtrack he's ever done. The way that the fucking Batman thing has just been stuck in my head.
It's like, and I was thinking, I'm like, okay, which when I'm comparing Dark Knight and this, I'm like, what aspects are better? Soundtrack, like this one's not even close between Dark Knight and this one. The soundtrack in the Batman is far better than the Dark Knight. I mean, really, the Dark Knight is just like a high pitched screech, and that's like the
It's
whole.
Hans Zimmer
It's
doing
still
his
really
Hans Zimmer
good.
shit.
It's still great.
He
and
does.
it fits the
Hans
movie.
Zimmer likes the
Yeah.
fucking sound a
Yeah.
lot,
And
and he utilizes it.
That the Dark Knight soundtrack only really works if you're watching the movie, but this soundtrack works just listening
just
to
been
it. And I've been on it's been on repeat the whole time, the whole album. And like I thought I just liked the main theme and like the bum 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 bum. You know, I thought that's like what I was going to take out of it, but then I'm realizing like
Dun,
all these different
dun,
songs.
dun, 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 dun.
Like
Bro, I'm in the theater, my third viewing, like fucking.
yes.
Yeah.
But then like the Riddler,
I'm
you know,
thriving
the
in my
little like
seat, dancing as
or-
he's like
Mm.
he's walking onto the screen all slow, and they're building it up, and I'm like doing the keys with my hands. I'm like, God, this is hard. And I've been doing nothing but listening to that for like 2 weeks. Hi, Claire. So I know the musical cues a lot better. Like I went into the movie knowing the musical cues.
Mm.
Like, I was listening to that.
Oh
Like,
yeah, and they're good because they really set the tone really well. Like just and it's not this just massive orchestral sort of vibe. It's this really grungy like metal vibe to the whole thing.
oh, and it's got this thorough. Like if you go watch, I've been watching Batman the Animated Series ever since. Just kind of been in a Batman mode now. If you watch that show and listen to that soundtrack, they did that and then gave it the grunge that Robert Pattinson's Batman kind of brings with his Nirvana vibe, his Kurt Cobain ass vibe.
Mhm.
And like I listened to the Batman Animated Series like theme at the beginning of the episode, and I'm like, oh shit, you know what? This isn't too far off. It doesn't feel like you add a little bit of a bass line and you add some intensity to it, and we're right there. But like it's just got this thorough influence of Batman ass music.
Mm.
Batman ass music, yeah, and that's all it needs to be. Like,
I mean, even not just the main theme, but then like the little Riddler, like little mysterious little like, or like even
It's when they play
Catwoman's like,
Catwoman's got
like,
my favorite theme.
like, it's
That one's my favorite theme in the movie. I love the very first song on the album, Can't Fight City Halloween.
Oh my god,
That shit is fucking fantastic because that's what we're kicking off the movie
Mhm.
with. You
Yeah.
know, like that's
like the way that like the tension just keeps building and build like and louder and louder, like in all the songs, you know, it's always like just building, just anxious, just tension. Like, oh my god, like all of these songs, like you hear them and then you like know what part of the movie that they were playing from, and you're like, oh my god, that's right when that happened, or like that's right when he cut the line, you know, and then it went silent, you know, and like or whatever, and like I don't know.
I have something here. I've got some. All right. So if he says Thursday, October 31st, and this is modern, it can only take place in 2019 or it can take place in 2024. And if it is 2019 and it's 20-year anniversary since his parents have been dead this week, do me a favor and look up Box Office 1999 on Halloween, and it'll be a website called Box Office Mojo, and tell me what is number 10 on that list.
Some Riddler level levels of distillation here.
Contrivance.
Contrivance, that's the word I was looking for. That's exactly the word I was looking for.
Wait, I don't know if I'm on the right. Oh, the Blair Witch Project. Is that number 10? Am I looking at the right list?
No, here, I'll send it in the group chat real quick. Because I thought this was hilarious when I found this. I couldn't believe it. I'm sending the text now. Yeah, this, in theory, this is the movie they were leaving when they were shot in Crime Alley. Number 10 on that list.
Damn.
I'm sorry.
Number 10, in theory, in 1999, the Waynes were leaving the number 10 movie on this list when they were shot and killed.
Why do we know it's the number 10 movie on this list they were leaving? Just because it's called Bats. Yeah.
Bats.
Fair enough. I would have probably gone for the Fight Club,
Hey, it is what it is, but I feel like if we're talking like this man became Batman, and like domestic box office wise, number 10 during that Halloween was Bats. That's insane.
Wow.
I've never even heard of this movie.
That's pretty cool how time just kind of worked out like that.
Yeah, because there's no way that was intended.
No. Oh my God. If
you don't think
it's just like, fuck, we got to redo the whole movie. I mean, history doesn't line up.
Do you know about like if you actually go to rataalada.com, like it's an actual thing, like in actual that. ARG that like people have solved this. Like there's like crazy coordinates and like stuff that happens.
Oh yeah, like there's a message that it gives you that's like there is something coming. This is not the end. I saw that on Twitter. Yeah, it looks pretty dope. Yeah, but am I the only one who knows the freaking difference between that and law? Habla español, fellas.
Oh wait. This was 70% earlier today. So this is slowly going up. Ooh, this is
going up. It was at 54 when I checked.
This is interesting. Yeah, the whole cipher here. They're like that's why I'm thinking like the Riddler, even though we think like it's not going to his plan and not everything worked out for him, I'm like, I don't know. I think this dude's a lot more calculated than that. And like
I've read that at the rate this is going, this ticker here, it coincides perfectly with when a Fortnite Batman skin is supposed to drop. So it could just be that.
No.
God damn it. I swear I'm gonna be pissed. I was hoping it was at least like an extended cut of the movie or something.
That'd be awesome.
No way this is for Fortnite,
they gotta
bro.
release the 4-hour version.
No, yeah, I don't think it is.
If it is though, I'm so
that'd be so fucking funny.
I mean that's hilarious. So I hope not, but it's not over yet, JPEG. 1200 by 1500. Dude, I mean this is probably all solved. I don't know why I'm trying to like I was gonna be like, ooh, let me freaking inspect element, go in here and freaking
URL.
That was, dude. Actually, I don't know. They were pretty cool the way they made like the riddles and like.
Oh yeah,
like, it was. I really dug it because I love when they got Penguin there and they're like laying out a fucking like whole thing. It's like obviously you did this because all of this lines up too perfectly for you not to have.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I really got no fucking clue what you're talking about. I'm sorry. Did you say El Rata? And he's like, it's La Rata. And Jim's like, could it be a mistake? And Batman's
they both look at each other.
Mistake. I like he literally says, that'd be a pretty big mistake. Like, I think that's hilarious. He's like, that hadn't even occurred to me. Which I really love that they were like, oh man, because it showed how Batman was like, he gets a clue and he just,
exactly.
He doesn't make mistakes, right. Man. He's calculated. He's calculated all of this through and through.
There were a couple things where I was like, I feel like Batman's probably thinking to himself, damn it, should have figured that out quicker. At a lot of points in the movie, which is like hopeful for whatever version of Batman we get in the future, because like Batman just typically is like all knowing, like he just figured that shit out. And he still to an extent is in this movie, but he has some very clear errors, and I think that's there on purpose, of course.
Sorry, I was going too deep in the rabbit hole. It is kind of
I got all the
it is
code popping up
it is
on
kind
the
of
fucking
crazy
screen
though. It is
here.
kind of crazy. They have this set up very cryptically. Like usually these files are like just hundreds of lines long, but they just put it all in one line, so you have to you can't just read it very easily. Like they made it annoying on purpose, which is like really cool that this goes like this deep even. And I'm curious to see like how it was solved, and I would assume it's using some of this stuff, but I hope it's not just for a Fortnite skin though, but if so, it's hilarious.
That'd be hilarious. But one of my favorite scenes in this movie also that we haven't touched on yet is Jim and the Batman at the police precinct whenever he's like, give me the room, I'll make him cooperate. And then like Emily asked me like, why are they acting like that? And it's like, well, Jim's trying to portray that he's angry to everyone else. And so he's like, you gotta punch me in the face. And like he looks like he's getting angry, but he's like stressing his words, and it's
the little
like,
chest push at the beginning, like the little and like or whatever.
Listen to me. He like pokes him in the chest. He's gives him a little punch.
Gotta get you out of here.
I was a bit blown away, but
second of that.
As soon as they opened on the scene of all the policemen surrounding him, I was like, all right, we're about to get some absolutely ridiculous shit right here.
Oh, he's like, we should just take the mask off. Like, I love that shit. He just like gets up. He's like, woo, woo. He's like, great. Now I got you on assaulting an officer. You got me on assaulting 3. I was like, oh, because he'd only assaulted 2.
What are you gonna do? Throw him in jail? Okay.
At that point, he'd only assaulted 2, which means he was gonna beat that man's fucking ass right then and there.
Damn.
Oh, damn.
That's sick.
And Jim pushed him up against the wall. He's like, hey, this ain't how you want to do this. And I loved his response. He was like, oh, you too, Jim?
You too.
Oh.
I'll whoop that ass as well.
Oh, man.
Shit.
No, I loved this. Could have at least pulled that punch. I did.
Yeah. Oh, of course he did.
I think I've been properly jazzed up. I actually got to head out here pretty soon to get.
No, yeah, I figured. I was like 8 o'clock's probably the wrap up time here. So with that, we've talked a lot, and there will be further talking about this movie in the future. We'll probably even do a live commentary on it when it releases on HBO Max in a month.
Oh, it's releasing on HBO Max? Fuck.
Yeah, on April 19th. They're doing a really quick turnaround.
Thank God. I could not have waited that long for this movie. If I hadn't seen it already.
Yeah, let's do ratings and reviews.
Okay.
Let's do our 5 stars in each little section. Oh yeah, I love that too. The way Matt Reeves utilized
so it was her?
leaks. It was not her. They knew that she would get leaked wearing that.
That's awesome. That's sick. Yeah. This is just like before. This is probably just like these are set pictures, like all these ones.
I've heard
like behind the scenes, and that's so calculate. That's pretty cool.
So anyone who was like knew the leaks and stuff saw that scene and were like, "Yep, it's her." And then she turned and it wasn't her, and we're like, "Wait, what?"
It's like, oh my god, it's like a whole photo dump of like the Riddler did, basically. Like of the outside the Iceberg Lounge, it's basically the same thing, but just for her that they like released. That's for her, and that's kind of cool. Like
that is kind of cool.
They're very meta. Like it seems that they're very like they know. I don't know. They're very smart about this.
Beyond the world,
it's pretty cool.
We know, I really love it. So,
yeah, like
where we're
why are they taking them like that?
Star.
Yeah, they're taking them like they're taking it like a stalker, like from position, like you.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
They want to make it seem like it's paparazzi.
Yo, I didn't even think about the fact that the pictures that the Riddler used of the Iceberg Lounge were taken from his apartment because he was right there.
Oh, yeah.
Holy crap, yes. The whole... oh my god, that's nuts. That's nuts.
Yeah, because they're taken from that angle up and down. Holy shit. I can't believe I've watched it 3 times.
He's right there the whole time. Yeah, he's been there the whole time. Wow.
Damn.
He's just been up there this whole time?
Wow.
Yeah, he's just been up there this whole time.
Dude, I fucking love... bring the rat into the light.
We're such a
Colin
great
Farrell.
team. Look,
Ridiculous.
I did nothing for you.
No, this wasn't how this was supposed to go.
But it is. He's very calculated. He knew he was going to Arkham. He knew he was going there, obviously.
Oh, we haven't even talked about that scene. Sorry. Last thing. How'd you feel about that? The Joker tease.
Arkham.
I'm
very, very Arkham, the game, like Joker. Like the look that the silhouette, the extended chin, it looks like he's like...
Oh, yeah.
How about that? It's Druig.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the laugh was...
Well, the only way I'd be satisfied with another Joker right now is if he doesn't start as the Joker. Because that's why the Joker movie was so good. Like, he didn't start as the Joker. That's why this movie is so good. I guess he starts as the Batman, but it's like, he's a very different Batman.
He hasn't grown into his own as the
right.
Batman.
Yeah. Like, if they're like, Batman's already dealt with the Joker, that's going to be a lot less compelling for me in terms of...
My guess is that he's just a person in an insane asylum right now.
That's what I'm hoping, yeah.
Just a patient in Arkham.
I don't know. Because he's been at it for 2 years, and it makes me feel that in those 2 years he put Joker in Arkham, or maybe just him. Maybe just.
I took this movie as the first time he's had an arch nemesis, someone who is expressly a supervillain.
Okay, fair. Ooh, they could be doing it the way they did it in the Netflix show Gotham, where it's Joker. But it's like pre-Joker. He just becomes like, he just laughs maniacally, and like, he's not truly the Joker yet, where he's, hiring people and like doing many, many other things. But then he goes to Arkham for a while, becomes the Joker, like in Arkham, makes him like even crazier. And then like, I don't know, but it looked like he already had green hair and very, very pale skin, and
he looked Joker as fuck.
So.
One thing I will say, this was the only scene in the movie where I was like, I'd be willing to bet a studio demanded that. And I'd be willing to bet they were like, make it a post-credit scene, and he was like, I'm not going to do that shit.
Yeah.
So I'll figure out how to get it in the movie.
We're not Marvel. That was it was a very post-credit scene.
It all kind of felt like that too. Like they were making it felt like the movie was making a point. Hey, superhero movies have not had to look the way they've looked. They could look like this.
They could look like this.
And boy, it was just fucking beautiful. So, in terms of enjoyment, I'm at a firm 5.
Oh yeah.
Same here.
There's no doubt about that.
Duh. Gotta rate it.
Yes, we do. Yeah, so I'm at a straight up 5 in terms of enjoyment. I haven't really loved a movie straight out of the theater this much ever, I don't think, besides maybe like Endgame, because of what Endgame was. And this is a standalone Batman movie, the first of, I haven't seen any of these characters, completely new reimagination. Like, that's fucking awesome. So where I'm at right now, 5 in enjoyment. Critically, or, let's go to genre. As a superhero, detective, noir.
Yeah.
It was pretty genre defining.
I mean, I think it's crazy that this is the first installment of the trilogy. Like, it's genre defining already. Like, and we're right out of it. And this could be recency bias, like, we're right hot of it, but I don't think so. Like, I am like, it's that good. And, like,
I'm using this because I watched Spider-Man No Way Home 3 months ago, and I loved that movie for what it was.
Cool.
This was 1,050% a better movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh well, yeah. I 100%.
No, or is it 4? I was thinking it was
December 16th
because it was in
January to February.
Oh, okay, yeah. Wait.
But
all right. So you think? I mean.
So, I mean, if it's 5-5, I mean, I wouldn't put it in terms of a film, like 5's got to be like a.
Yeah, it's not. Because it does feel a little bloated. I don't know that it does need to be as long as it is, but I also don't know what you'd cut.
I don't know what you cut.
It was shot beautifully.
So that's
visually, it was insane.
And I mean, it either
needs to cut.
Acting
was incredible.
It it either needed to cut some stuff out or add some more stuff in and just be that 4-hour cut. But
Right.
that's
I'm thinking like absolute floor. Floor is like 7.5. Yeah, like that's the floor, and I feel like that's still a little low. I was thinking like 4.8 was sounding right and reasonable. For me,
I could go for.
I could go for that too.
I'm trying to think of like a Jurassic Park a 4.93 on a film. My Neighbor Totoro 4.9. Dead Poets a 4.9.
Yeah.
4.8 feels really right.
Yeah, and 4.8 The Godfather is a 4.8. Jaws is a 4.8. The Shining, Raiders of the Lost Ark. So it's in great company.
I'm now more at a 4.75.
Yeah. 4.75 Boys in the Hood. 4.7 Apocalypse Now. 4.7
I think it needs
Godfather
to be
Part
at least
2.
4.8 overall.
And it will be. It will be.
So okay, if we go 4.75, that makes it a 4.92,
which would make
average, which is 0.01 below The Godfather, but above Godfather Part 2. Obviously below Star Wars in our ranking. Above, that's, I mean,
it's tied with My Neighbor Totoro, Dead Poets Society, and that feels right to me.
I like that. Yeah, I like that in terms of, because those are all doing three very different things very well, similar to how this is.
Oh, spoilers for our 52-year journey through film.
Sorry.
None of you have heard any of that yet.
Whoopsies. That comes
in a couple days. We've got 1980s The Shining coming out, though. You're ready for that, I bet.
That's a oopsies.
Oopsies. I forget that we record those so far in advance. But all right, I'm feeling good about that. And the fact that we left a superhero movie with a 4.92. I don't think there'd be another movie in terms of a superhero movie that I'd rate quite as highly. And it is because it went so singular in its vision for its genre. You know, like there isn't another superhero movie like it. You know, it's it is incredibly individual, and therefore it had to be genre defining. You know, like that's just how it goes.
Oh yeah, I'm sound with that. You know, I'm not like 4.92 seems just like a high score to give any movie, but like I don't know, it just seems right. It's in right company with the other movies that we've covered or yet to cover.
And you know, we'll reevaluate. We'll do this again in a month when we're doing like a live commentary or some shit. We'll do a whole Batman thing. The Batman binge will continue, I'm sure. But yeah, 4.92 out of 5 stars. That's strong. That's really strong. And with that, we conclude the Penny Bloom podcast. 'Twas I, Colton Robertson. I was joined by the magnificent Tavares Pennington.
Thank you. Pleasure being here.
Oh, it was a pleasure having you. And we were also joined by the wonderful Joseph George.
Oh, thank you for having me. Thank you for allowing me to nerd out over the movie. Finally, it's nice. Nice to be able to do that.
I know. I do feel. I feel.
Oh yeah.
I feel ready to watch it again, and also.
Thank you.
Yes, and if you're digging it, you're digging what we've got going on, the whole vibe we're putting out into the universe. Go ahead and head to patreon.com/CoroBloom, where you'll find well over 24 hours of exclusive content, including brand new an Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer discussion, about 30 minutes, nice and simple. We had a lot of fun there. A ton of other stuff, but that's the most recent release. If you would, head to Twitter, follow @PennyBloomPod, follow on Instagram @PennyBloomPodcast, and remember, peace, love, and bloom, and I'm vengeance.